All right. Welcome back to another episode of Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Daily Walk Edition. This is episode number 33. I'm back at Red Morton Park, and it is another gorgeous day out here in Redwood City, California. Let me show you. Look at the sun is out. Hopefully you can see that up there. It's an absolute beautiful day out here. God, 60 degrees in pretty much mid-December. Can't ask for any better weather than that. And I have another very interesting topic to discuss here today. But before I get to that, let me make you all aware of some upcoming updates regarding some interviews I'm going to be doing starting tomorrow and the next couple of days and in the upcoming weeks as well. Starting to really schedule those interviews, and we're going to start really getting down and dirty here on Coach Eli's YouTube channel, Facebook, and my website, and my entire coaching practice. We're going to start to interview people and get their thoughts about how difficult it is to navigate today's modern world. We're going to get their experiences and hear their stories. And starting tomorrow, I'm going to be getting up early in the morning to interview my Greek buddy, Rif Magos, who is a MGTOW monk. He is a gentleman I met from the MGTOW Men Going Their Own Way community, and we've actually reconnected recently. He's a very good guy, and he's going to share his story, and he's going to share his experiences in being involved with the MGTOW community, how it's helped him, and how, it's also had its challenges. So I definitely look forward to that interview. I will be putting out that interview by probably tomorrow afternoon or early evening, and then I will also be recording another episode of Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, Daily Walk Edition as well. On Friday, I'm going to be interviewing my buddy Manny Rivera, who runs the Akurayu YouTube channel. And Manny is a young gentleman. I believe he's in his late 20s right now, early 30s, I think late 20s. And he has recently gone through a divorce. And he has a bunch of stories to share regarding his experiences of being married and what he went through and how it affected him and how he's, overcome that loss. So that'll be another interesting interview. I'm going to be recording that Friday late morning as well. That should be on my YouTube channel, Facebook, and my website by probably Friday evening or so, or late Friday afternoon. More than likely, I will not be recording an episode of Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli Daily Walk Edition on Friday. But if I do find a way to squeeze it in, I know it's going to be tight on Friday, I will do one. But you will definitely at least get that interview by late Friday afternoon, early Friday evening. Okay. Next week, I'll be interviewing Charles F. Gray regarding some of his recent experiences and what he's been dealing with on YouTube and where he's headed. He's a great content creator from Alberta, Canada that I've known for a few years now. He's also been a part of the MGTOW community, but more so his channel is a broad-based channel, self-titled Charles F. Gray, that discusses philosophy and finance in general. And he also throws in some other, topics on, some household topics in regards to, how he maintains his house on the outside, inside, etc. He does a variety of things on his channel. So that interview will be coming next week. Additionally, I reached out to a lady, I believe her name is Angie Atkinson. She's a certified life coach that she's just an awesome lady. She's just a completely awesome lady. Let me leave it at that for now. And she did a couple of videos regarding MGTOW and her thoughts about MGTOW. And she also requested if any MGTOW wanted to be interviewed, and nobody actually, wanted to be interviewed by her. I recently saw her MGTOW videos. I came across them on my YouTube feed and while doing a YouTube search for content. And I decided to send her an email today and make her aware of who I am and make her aware that I would love to do an interview with you and share my experiences in having been involved in the past with the MGTOW community. I made her aware in the email that I am not MGTOW, but I was involved with the community for quite some time, and I can share my experiences of what I've been through in that community and what's really going on. I told her I am the guy that you want to interview. At the same time, I'd love to interview you as well. So basically, what I've proposed to her in an email I sent her earlier today is that we can do a dual interview. I'll interview you and ask you questions about your business and what you do, etc. And then you can interview me at the same time and ask me questions about MGTOW and anything else you want to know. So just waiting to hear back from her. Hopefully she is open to doing that interview because I think that would be awesome. For the MGTOW guys out there, yes, the message is getting out there. And I know I mentioned in the past that I wasn't going to be talking a lot about MGTOW and not really getting involved with MGTOW, but that's what's happening. And I'm getting involved in a limited capacity. I'm avoiding the haters and the trolls and all that, but I'm willing to work with people that are going to be civil with me, that are going to be respectful, that are going to be professional and share their thoughts and feelings in a professional manner. I don't mind if you express yourself and you share your frustrations. As long as you respect me and I respect you, I'm willing to work with you. So I don't want to get the wrong, I don't want to put the wrong message out there and, make people aware that, hey, I'm back involved with MGTOW, I'm going full force and I'm attacking these guys. No, I'm not. But MGTOW, the MGTOW community is now gaining more traction within the mainstream media and with other people on YouTube, especially women. And I want to participate and really share what's going on, share my experiences of what MGTOW put me through, okay? And how it affected my life, personally and professionally. And it really severely affected me in a negative way because, while the message of MGTOW is a good message and, a lot of the principles of MGTOW are principles I believe in, the way that some people, treat you out there that claim to be MGTOW or run channels that have MGTOW related content, they make your life miserable and they more so hurt you than help you. So that's as far as I'm going to go into that right now. If that interview happens with Angie, it's going to be a great one. I'm sure it's going to get a lot of traction between her channel, my channel, and other people out there that have been following me. Okay? I'm ready to get in the thick of things and really figure things out between men and women and do whatever I can to make this world a better place. To basically try to really make it a fair playing field between men and women and society in general. Okay? So we'll see. I'll update you folks in regards to Angie's response. If she does respond. If she doesn't, I'll make you aware of that as well. I'm sure she will. She seems to be a very down-to-earth and level-headed person, but I'm sure she's going to do some thorough research on me before she makes her decision. And she'll see, if she does that thorough research, that I was involved with MGTOW, and I have a lot of stories to share, most of which were not good. Not because I didn't want them to be good, because the people out there, that approached me from more of a negative standpoint than a positive standpoint. The problem with MGTOW is not what the people are saying in MGTOW to help others. It's how they're saying it. Okay? They're coming off more forceful rather than saying, hey, you know what, man? I understand what you're going through, and I'm not here to project my views on you, but if you'd like my advice, I'd be willing to give it to you. A lot of MGTOW guys that do MGTOW content will more so project their views onto you, whether you like it or not, and they don't approach you from a respectful standpoint. So that's the difference right there. It's not about the message, it's about how it's presented and how some of the men out there behave, because many of them have some serious mental, emotional, and some mental and emotional issues, which is what I'm trying to say. And that's just the freaking truth. I'm just speaking of the truth here. All right, so let's get to today's topic here today. Get right down to it because it's going to be a very interesting one, and I have a story to share in regards to this topic that's going to kind of make a lot of sense. The topic today is Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, Daily Walk Edition, episode number 33 is, has modern day society become too PC, politically correct? Has modern day society become too PC, politically correct? So I'm going to give you the short answer and end this video right now, which I won't. The answer is yes. We have come, or we've become, which is what I'm trying to say, way too PC. Okay? And before I tell you why I feel we've become way too PC, let me share an example of something I experienced in one of my relationships in the past that will probably knock your socks off, will probably make you wonder, okay, interesting. So in the past, I was dating this woman. I really cared for her. And she had a wonderful family. She had 2 great parents, very supportive, okay, raised her right. This woman also had 2 teenage daughters, which were very smart. And one of her daughters was very much into women's rights and feminism. That was her youngest daughter. When I met her, her daughter was 13, and she had the intelligence level of a 30 to 40-year-old woman. I was really fucking impressed by that. Still impressed by that to this day. What a smart kid. And her other daughter was very smart as well, but really wasn't into the feminist stuff and all that. But her youngest one, I remember when I first met this woman, and I was already talking about, male and female relationship dynamics with my ex when I first met her, this particular ex. And then when she first introduced me to her daughter, that was the first conversation we had, and it was an interesting conversation. And her youngest daughter at that point really enjoyed that conversation because her biological father was not a communicative guy. Was not, I wouldn't say he was a bad father, but he just didn't know how to engage her or her sister. So when I came into the picture, it was kind of like almost having a father that they didn't have from a social engagement standpoint that at least the youngest one really wanted, to have in regards to this topic. Okay, so let me get to the story here. There was one time with this particular ex where I was hanging out with her and her family and some friends at an outing. Okay. And at this outing, her mother and father were there. Her daughters were there. Her daughters had some friends there. And her family had some friends there, and she had some friends there. And what happened was, one of the family friends, this guy, had his wife there. He was talking a little playful shit to his wife, like in a playful way. And this guy was always like that with his wife. So it was just kind of funny. It was cool. And his wife played along with it. And it was just fun. But during this particular outing, after he had said something playful to his wife, I mentioned, well, that's just the difference between men and women. That's the difference between male and female relationship dynamics. And immediately after I said that to this guy that was probably still is, friends of the family of this former girlfriend, my girlfriend's father at the time immediately jumped in and said, "It's about people, Eli. It's about people. It's not about men and women. It's about people." And at that point, I was sitting there, and I went from feeling pretty good and having a good time to feeling like, I was being questioned or being scrutinized, or I felt like I said something wrong. And my intentions were not to say anything wrong. And apparently I must have upset, the woman I was seeing. I was upsetting her father. And later on, after talking with, the woman I was seeing at the time, I had upset her. She was questioning me, why I can't get along with her family and her friends. All because I responded to something that a friend of the family mentioned to his wife. In a playful way, he was talking shit to his wife, and I said, well, that's the difference between men and women and male and female relationship dynamics. What's wrong with that? Then I started to realize, why my girlfriend's father at the time reacted to that. It's not because he doesn't understand that there is a difference between men and women. He just doesn't want to state that and, really say too much about it because we live in a PC world. And he probably understands that women are very emotional, and they would probably misunderstand that in today's modern world, where he would get some backlash and scrutiny for it. Okay? His wife might take it the wrong way. His daughter that I was dating at the time might have taken it the wrong way. His grandkids, which were my girlfriend at the time, which were the kids of my girlfriend at the time, which is what I'm trying to say, might get offended by it, especially the younger one that claims to be a feminist, or it claimed to me to be a feminist at one point. Okay? So why did he respond that way? Because this world's become PC. And he knows how emotional women are, and even if he were to state how he really felt, that men and women are different in many ways, but we're trying to make it a level playing field, if he tried to put it that way, he would still get backlash. Where if he just says it's about people in general, that's like the easy way to make a blanket statement and not offend anybody. Okay. And after that conversation there, which I'll be honest with you, it was that situation. I've kind of mentioned this story before in different ways, but that right there was the demise of my relationship. That was the start of the demise of my relationship, because I simply mentioned that that's the difference between men and women. in response to, what a family friend was saying to his wife in a playful way. He was talking shit to his wife in a playful way. They didn't get on him for that, but they got on me for just making it a simple statement. Now, I want to make it very clear. Again, at the time, and even to this day, I have a lot of respect for this ex's father and her mother and her kids and for her entire family and her friends. I never had an issue with any of them. Okay? And if you look at it realistically, okay, if I were to ask my ex's father, which I doubt they're watching my videos anymore nowadays, okay? If I were to ask my ex's father, are you saying that men and women are not different? Are men and women not different? And this is where I'm not PC, and I say it as it is, and people get pissed off at me because I'm speaking the truth. Let's see, the last time I checked, down below, I had a penis. Men have penises. And the last time I was with a woman in a relationship, and we were intimate because I cared about her, she had a vagina. So I think that makes us different. Okay? Women have breasts. Well, men have breasts too, but women's breasts are bigger. They're naturally bigger because the breasts were made to breastfeed babies. It's another difference between men and women. Now, there are some men out there that have bigger breasts than women, but those men are severely overweight, and they need to do something about that. Not trying to joke about that, just keeping it real, keeping it 100 here on Coach Eli's platform. Okay? So there are two differences there between men and women. Men and women, like I mentioned before, also process things differently. Okay? Women will process things emotionally first and then use logic and reasoning afterwards to justify what they just processed emotionally. Men will process things logically first and then possibly exude some emotion if need be. So we're different in that way. So far, I've mentioned 3 things that are different between men and women. So what part of me saying that that's the difference between men and women was I wrong about? I was just making a blanket statement, just kind of playfully responding to something that, your friend was saying to his wife in a playful way. But here's the thing. Throughout that entire relationship, I was never once politically correct, ever. I was always myself. I was upfront, real, and honest. And while I never projected my views onto anyone, I would respond to things based on how I felt, which, stems back to my views, which are not politically correct. And what I'm noticing nowadays, especially if you're in a relationship with a woman, and even if initially she is open to you not being politically correct and she accepts you for who you are, at some point she's going to try to tame you down. And quite honestly, that's what I feel happened to me not only in this relationship, but others in the past. Because it's funny, like in every relationship I've been in, initially the woman's really into me. She's physically, mentally, and emotionally attracted to me. Because I'm not saying I'm all that, but I'm a decent guy, and I'm a decent looking guy. And there's no other guy out there like me. I'm very fun, adventurous. I love taking weekend getaway trips. I love going to nice dinners. I actually like to do things when I'm dating somebody. So I'm a fun, good, decent person to be around. I'm a well-rounded guy. So women will put up with my PC stuff for a while because they're consumed by the other good shit that's happening. But after a while, when they start looking at whether they want to have a future with me or not, there's some kids across the street that are using these duck horns or something. Anyway, after a while, when they start looking to see if they want to have a future with you and they start looking at you much more closely, okay, then they start to try to tame you down and make you conform to more of a PC way. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. You know? Now, why do I feel the world has become more PC and some men are just, responding in a PC way even though they might feel otherwise? Okay? It all stems back to modern day feminism. Women have a lot of power nowadays. I keep mentioning this. I'm not trying to be bitter about it. I'm just stating the facts. Women have a lot of power nowadays. And in order to get somewhere, I hate to say it, you're more than likely going to have to go through a woman. And if you upset a woman's emotions by being honest with her and not being PC with her, you're not going to get past that. It happens in relationships, happens in the corporate world, it happens everywhere. Okay? And to be quite honest with you, I find it next to impossible for me to be PC, even though when I know there are moments I should be politically correct just to not offend somebody. Even though what I was going to say is not really that bad, it's just something they probably don't want to hear. I'll be honest, I've tried to be PC in the past, knowing that it would have probably spared me some heartache or a breakup or something. But every time I've tried to be PC, just to prevent something from going the opposite way, I feel like I'm not being true and real to myself. Okay? I feel I'm not being true and real to myself. I'd rather be me and risk losing that relationship and risk something not going the way I want it to go. I'd rather be real than be fake just to keep it around, which is not going to be keeping it around for the right reason in the first place. So, the reason why I feel a lot of people are PC is because women have a lot of power today. If you look at corporations and how they advertise to women, like I've mentioned before in the past, corporations will place advertisements where they know women are going to be at. An example, watching shows on daytime TV that talk shit about men. And corporations are like, okay, we know a lot of women are going to be out there. We also know women have 85% of the buying power, like I've mentioned many times before. So we're going to load that fucking show up with commercials because we know women are going to sit there on their fucking couch and they're going to get on their smartphone and they're going to go to Amazon and they're going to buy our shit. Right? But what happens when a man, tries to put out content that rebuts what women are saying? They demonetize us, like what's been happening on YouTube. Or if you're a man that's trying to put a show out there that, talks about female nature, where is it? I don't see any of them out there. Because no corporation wants to sponsor them because there's not enough male buying power anymore to sustain it on both sides. Or on all three sides. You as the content creator, the network that's going to run the show, and the sponsors. Okay? So we've become a PC world to cater to where 85% of the buying power is at. So that way corporations can be successful. the mainstream media and their networks, which they're corporations as well, can be successful. And that way also the government can be successful. When there's more money flowing around, you charge more tax dollars, the government wins, and corporations win. Okay? And who loses? Straight men. We lose. I mentioned this before. And that's why I feel, some people, rather than speaking their mind and saying it exactly as it is and speaking the truth, are just shutting their lips because they know. Give me 1 second here. Did I just move this? All right, we're good. I just fucking moved it a little bit. Because the people know if they open up their mouth and they speak of the truth, they're going to get chastised for it. And it makes me feel like the world we're living in today is completely fake. It's not real. We're all becoming something that we're not. Okay, just to conform to modern day female rights, which I'm all for modern day female rights. What I'm not all for is for these rights coming at the expense of men, straight men, and now forcing us men and everyone in general to live a politically correct life, which is fucking boring. I'll tell you something, okay? There's a new woman I've been hanging out with platonically. Somebody back there, I think, was saying something. And for you guys out there, just so you know, I watched your show, Platonic. Yeah, I know, I say Plutonic's Platonic. Platonic. There you go. I fed into you for once, just for shits and giggles. I don't care. I stand on my own. Platonic. So I've been hanging out with this one chick platonically. Okay. And we've been doing a bunch of hikes, just hanging out. Who knows where it goes? She actually likes me. I think she's pretty cool too, but she knows my situation. So we're just hanging out platonically for the time being. Who knows? But I've had these conversations with her. She's cool, and she's really into me. Really, really into me. And early on, when a woman's really, really into you, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, like my ex was, okay, you can pretty much say anything and get away with it. If she has a high level of attraction for you, it's all good. So I've been talking with her about, modern day feminism and all that stuff. And she lives out in Berkeley. And for those of you that don't know about Berkeley, the campus of UC Berkeley is out there, and UC Berkeley is like the feminist fucking capital of the world. Like there are so many activists that are involved with that campus regarding gay rights, regarding civil rights for women, feminism, all that shit. So she's lived in that area for quite some time. And she's been around that. And I've been talking with her about these things, and she's still cool. But I notice, like, whenever I talk with her about these things, she'll say, well, we're probably not going to agree on that. We're probably not going to agree on that. And she's a really nice person, and she's really into me, and she has a high level of attraction for me, even though right now we're still at a platonic level. Not plutonic, platonic. I know those MGTOW guys out there that assemble to talk shit about me every now and then on their live streams are going to get a good kick out of this one. Fuck you. I don't give a shit. I stand on my own. I'm real. I'm Coach Eli. I say this fuck you with a lot of love. With a lot of love. I wish no harm upon any of you guys. But But yeah, even she has some resistance towards what I'm saying. And it makes me believe that even the most amazing, most understanding, nicest, sweetest woman in the world in today's day and age that has a high level of attraction for a man and is really into him and wants to be with him for the right reasons, doesn't want to hear it when it comes to feminism. Doesn't want to hear this shit. And what that further states to me is that even the really good women that in the MGTOW community are referred to as unicorns, which really don't exist, I'm beginning to really fucking think that unicorns don't exist. I think every woman out there in today's day and age has been infected with the feminist disease. You heard me say it. I think every woman out there, even the good women that I respect, have been infected with the feminism disease. Because look what it's done to society. It's converted us into a politically correct world to the point of where we can't even look at men and women as men and women anymore. We have to look at ourselves as people, which we are people. But I'm proud to be a fucking man. Look, I look fucking good. All right, let me turn this around here. I'm in fucking great shape. I have a fucking penis. I'm proud of that shit. Okay? That's what makes me a fucking man. And you as a woman should be proud to have the vagina. Should be proud to what you have and what makes you a woman. And there should be no need for anyone, around you or including you to be politically correct just because of the way things are nowadays with modern day feminism and modern day social conditioning. I respect people more so that can be themselves and that are daring and basically say it as it is rather than conform to the ways of modern day feminism and social conditioning. I have no disrespect for my ex's father. I do understand why he was PC with his response to me, as I mentioned earlier in this video. But quite honestly, I'd have a lot more respect for him or any other man that would just stand up for what is actually happening. And what is actually happening is the fact that men are being silenced, and it's becoming more of a politically correct world because of the fact that women are in control. They have 85% of the buying power, and everyone caters everything around them. And if you piss off women that are already naturally emotional, they're going to stop spending fucking money. Why do you think the channels on YouTube where men were rebutting the shit talk that women were doing to them stopped getting advertising on them? Because the women complained that, oh, you're fucking putting these ads on channels that are talking shit about us women, so we're going to stop buying your fucking product. Okay? Let me come over here because I want to avoid this guy and his kids that are coming. They don't need to be hearing this shit. They're way too young for this. Okay. So, like I was saying, I have a lot more respect for people that are not afraid to be themselves and not afraid of what others think about them. I respect people that stand on their own as an individual. In today's day and age, I hate to say it, if you want to have a happy wife and a happy life or a happy girlfriend, you pretty much have to be a kiss ass and you pretty much have to be PC. And that's why I'm beginning to realize why my relationships have failed, because I am not PC. But let me wrap up by saying this as I walk back to my car here, okay? As I walk back to my car, does me or anyone else that's not PC, politically correct, does that make us a bad person if we're not PC or politically correct? Does that mean that I don't have a heart, I don't have a soul, that I don't care about women or women's rights or women's lib? No, you're misunderstanding it. I do care. I have the biggest heart in the world. I care about everyone's well-being equally, whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're gay, straight, bi, trans, lesbian, whether you're, Caucasian, African American, Hispanic, Asian, or any other culture. Okay? Regardless of your race, sexual orientation, whatever, I love you all equally as people. In that situation, I love you all equally as people. Because we are all people from a general standpoint. But as individuals, we are different. Men are different than women. Okay? Gay people are different than straight people. Not in a bad way. I'm not saying that in a bad way. The way that gay people are different than straight people is that a gay man's going to want to be with another gay man. A straight man is not going to want to be with a gay man. A straight man's going to want to be with a straight woman. We're different. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. I respect everyone for who they are as an individual. Okay? We are people, like I said. When it comes to, let me cross the street here. When it comes to generalizing, we're people, we're humans. But when it comes to who we are as an individual, okay, we're different. And if you can't see that, and you're still going to say that everybody, is a person instead of being an individual and being a man or a woman, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Let me just walk by here real quick. There are some people around. I don't want to interrupt them. Gorgeous day here at the park. Like, let me show you the sun one more time here. I don't know if you can see it. See it right there? Wow. It doesn't make me a bad person for not being PC or politically correct. It doesn't mean that I disrespect women. It doesn't mean that I disrespect anyone or anything. It means that I'm an honest, straightforward, loyal, loving, and caring person that's very considerate. And I'm very honest about my views and what I believe in. And I'm not afraid to express my views to anybody. And my views, they come from a good place in my heart. They take everyone's feelings into consideration. My views are not selfish views. My views take everyone into consideration. Okay? But what's happening out there nowadays is that not everyone sees it that way. Most people are selfish, so they don't take everyone's feelings into considerations. Or sorry, they don't take everyone's feelings into consideration when they're discussing their views. They're being selfish about it. When I speak about my views, I speak from the standpoint of taking all of your feelings into consideration and trying to make this world a better place so we all better get along. How long have we gone for here? 44 minutes. Is that right? Let's see. Now I can see because the damn sun's out of my face. Okay. That's why I think a lot of people hate me, because it's hard to challenge me. Because in today's day and age of modern day feminism, everyone just wants to accept, women just want men to accept things in the way that they are. Okay? And now I've got Redwood City Police coming here. So wave at the police. Sees me on my selfie stick, recording. This guy's cool. He's just hanging out. I've seen him here before, just cruising by. Got to buddy up with the cops. You never know when you're in need of favor, right? But again, like I was saying, before I wrap this up, okay? Because of modern day feminism, it's changed things up to where it just seems like many women out there just expect men to completely conform to the way things are. And us men are not unhappy that women have equal civil rights and they're working and they're doing things that were only known as things that men would do in the past. We just don't want to be silenced. We don't want our voice taken away. We've always had a voice. Maybe it's because men have always had a voice and women did not have a voice. So now that women actually have a voice, it seems like they're just trying to take the male voice away. And instead of making it a fair playing field, and making it 50-50, it's just flipped from one end to the other. We need to bring it back. We need to get things not back to the way they were before feminism started, but make them fair and equal. Look, we don't want to backtrack, guys and gals, to men being completely dominant and women being completely submissive and not being in the workforce and not having civil rights. No. But we also don't like the way it is, where it's flipped from men being completely in control to women now being completely in control. We want to make it an equal and fair playing field, and that's what I'm here to do. And I'm going to continue to talk about that and continue to share my views either until something changes or until the day I die. And I doubt this shit's going to be fixed before I die, but I'll do whatever I can to put my input into it and to do whatever I can to help make a difference. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up. With that being said, if you'd like to work with me personally, or if you would like to submit your stories that I may respond to in a future video, just go to my website at coacheli.com. You can click on the coaching services tab to find out how to work with me personally, or you can just click on the contact tab and you can see how you can submit your story regarding any situation you're in. If I feel that your story is something that would bring value to my entire audience, I may answer it in a future video for free. With that being said, have yourselves a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow. See you all next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye now.